Hello everyone, welcome to Air Navigation channel and this is our radio navigation series. This video is continuation of our previous topic. So I recommend you to watch that video first to understand today's topic better. In this video, I will be talking about how to calculate frequency and wavelength, what are the different types of frequency bands and phase difference. Let's understand frequency terms with basic example. We all have SIM card. Storage capacity of SIM card is given in kilobytes. All HD wallpapers are in megabytes. And all external storage devices are in gigabytes. So, as per our knowledge, we know that the lowest unit of storage will be kilobytes. Definitely, there are more technical units as well. Same goes for frequency. Magnitude-wise, the lowest unit of frequency will be hertz. As frequency increases, the unit will be indicated as kilohertz. Then we have megahertz and gigahertz. Now let's see how to calculate frequency and wavelength. For all frequency and wavelength calculations, you must always come down to one unit of frequency, that is hertz. So, anytime if frequency is given in any other unit, you must convert it to hertz. So, these conversions will help you. All we need to remember is how these conversions should be applied. So, if I have, for example, 8 kilohertz frequency, for conversion, I will multiply it by 1000 and I will get 8000 hertz. Now, why do we have to convert frequency? We know that speed of radio wave is constant and it is made up of two components, that is frequency and wavelength. Now, for easy calculations, if you keep frequency in hertz and wavelength in meters, there is no chance to make mistakes. They can ask you to either calculate frequency or wavelength. In both the cases, we must take frequency in hertz so that wavelength will be in meters. And if wavelength is given in any other unit than meters, we must convert it to meters first so that frequency will be in hertz. Now let's do one numerical. In this, we have to calculate the wavelength. Frequency is given as 125 megahertz. So, the formula which we will be using is lambda is equal to C upon F. Now, speed of radio wave is constant, which is 3 into 10 raised to 8. When it comes to frequency, in our numerical, it is given in megahertz. For easy calculation, always convert this to hertz. Now, if you remember the table, you can straightway take conversion as 10 raised to 6. This will give me frequency in hertz. But if you don't remember the table, you can go for step-by-step expansion. So, in this case, if I multiply 125 megahertz by 1000, the first unit which I will get will be kilohertz. And if I multiply it by 1000 one more time, I will get unit in hertz. In both the cases, I will get same answer. So if you insert this value in calculator, you will get answer as 2 decimal 4. Now how do we decide the unit for this value? As mentioned earlier, if you take frequency in hertz, wavelength by default will come in meters. So in both the cases, we have converted the frequency in hertz. That is why we can say the final unit will be meters, so answer will be alpha. Now in this example, we have to calculate frequency and wavelength is given. So formula will be F is equal to C upon lambda. Now very first thing before we go ahead with the calculation, anytime wavelength is given in any other unit than meters, we have to convert this to meters first. So, when I convert this value in meters, I will get 0.0698 meters. Now, I can use this value. So, let's go ahead with the numerical. value of C we know, that is 3 into 10 raised to 8 divided by 0.0698. Now this value is in meters. Now when we do this calculation in calculator, the value which we get is pretty bigger number, that is 4297994269. Now if you see the options, they are somewhat matching the numbers, but digits are different, number of digits are different. How do we decide the unit for this? Again, if wavelength is taken in meters, frequency by default will come in hertz. Since we have converted wavelength in meter over here, the unit which we will apply for this final answer will be hertz. But we do not want answer in hertz. How do we get it in gigahertz? Again, if you remember the conversion table, you can straightway divide it by 10 raised to 9. Or what we can do is we can go for step by step conversion. So let me write down the same value again. Now this value is in hertz. If I divide it by 1000, I will get some answer in kilohertz. Again I will divide this value by 1000. It will give me answer in megahertz. I need to convert it to gigahertz, so I will divide it by 1000 one more time, and then the final answer will be in gigahertz. Okay, after doing this, the value or answer which I am getting is 4.298. Okay, so this will be in gigahertz, which is the answer. Bravo. This is radio spectrum. As we can see over here, it starts at 3 kHz, that is the lower frequency, and it ends at 300 GHz, the higher frequency for radio spectrum. Now this whole spectrum is made up of various frequency bands, and each and every band will have lower and upper limit of frequencies. We also have radio aids which are operating in these bands only. Let's look at it in details. So let's see what are the frequency bands. It always starts from VLF, then LF, MF, HF, VHF, UHF, SHF and EHF. Now as I mentioned earlier, each band will have lower and upper limit of frequencies. So let's see what are the frequency limits. As you can see over here, VLF starts at 3 kHz and ends at 30 kHz. The next band, LF, will start at the 30 kHz, which was the upper limit of previous band. So it starts at 30 kHz, ends at 300 kHz. MF will start at the upper limit of the previous band. So this cycle keeps on going. From top to bottom of the chart, we can say that frequencies are increasing. If frequency increases, wavelengths will decrease. So the VLF, that is very first band, will give us higher wavelength or longer wavelength, which are 100 to 10 kilometers. Now lower frequency, the wavelength will start from the upper limit of the previous band. That means it will start at 10 km and ends at 1 km. In case of wavelength, from top to bottom, the wavelength will keep on decreasing. Now what are the radio aids which operate in these bands? As you can see, in VLF, we do not have any radio aid, and also in EHF, there is no radio aid. Rest of the radio aids will operate between these bands only, and band will decide the nature and usage of radio waves, which we will be seeing in upcoming parts. Before we go ahead with the phase difference, let's understand what is phase. Phase is basically the position of particular point on a radio wave. Like in this example, we can see that on the time axis, wave starts at 0 point. So we can call this phase as 0, 0, 0. It goes to maximum in positive side, so we can call this phase as 90. So we have 180, 270, 360 and so on. On the left side you can see that, so this will be the starting point. Then wave goes to the maximum 90, comes back to 180, that is the time axis. It goes to 270 and it will come back to 360. So 000, 180, 360, even though they are on the same axis, they will still have a different phases. To calculate phase difference, we need reference wave and variable wave. First, let's see how the waves are formed and then we can compare both the waves. So, reference wave starts from 0, it goes to 90, comes back to 180, goes to 270 and comes back to 360. So, we can say this is one complete process. Now, let's say how variable wave starts. It starts from 0, goes to 90, comes back to 180, goes to 270 and back to 360. Now, when we take the phase difference, it means that we are taking difference between reference and variable. Actually, what we are doing is we are comparing the crest of reference wave with crest of variable wave, or trough of reference wave with trough of variable wave. If these points are aligning, then we can say the phase difference will be 0. Now let's overlap these waves and see how it looks. So to take a phase difference, that is reference minus variable, the starting point of reference is 0, 0, 0, minus variable is also starting at 0, 0, 0. So we can say that phase difference is 0. Now when we overlap these things, we can see that the crest and troughs are aligning with the reference wave. So phase difference is 0. Now let's look at one more example. Again we have reference wave and variable wave. Let's see how reference wave is forming. It starts from 0 again. So this is how the wave is going. It is coming back to 360. Now let's see how variable wave is starting. Now if you see carefully, it starts from 90, goes to 180, then it goes down to 270, comes back to 360. Now remember, this is not yet complete cycle. As you can see on the left side, 1/4 of the circle is still left. So to complete the process, this is how the wave will form. Now in this case, reference and variables are starting from different points. Now let's see what will be the phase difference. So we can see that the crest of reference wave is 090 and crest of variable wave is at this point, which is again 090, but they are not aligning. That means there is a phase difference. So how do we calculate it? That is reference minus variable. So reference starts at 000 and variable starts at 90, that is 090. Now when we take the difference, it is coming in negative side. Now phase difference cannot be negative, so we have to add 360. The reason why we add 360 is because it is one whole complete process which is of 360 degrees. So final answer which we get is 270 and this is our phase difference. Now when we overlap these waves, we can see that crest and other crest is not matching, or trough and troughs are not matching or aligning. To calculate phase difference, frequency must be same. In case of reference wave, we can see that we have only one crest and one trough. So frequency will be 1 Hz. In case of variable wave, we have multiple crests and trough. That means frequency is definitely different. Now if we try to overlap this, we can see that since number of cycles are different, we cannot compare the crest and trough. Hence, we cannot calculate phase difference. Now remember, only the frequency should be same and not the amplitude. In reference wave, you can see that there is one crest and one trough. And variable wave also has one crest and one trough. Even though amplitudes are different, if I try to overlap this over the reference wave, we can see that crest and crests are aligned and trough of the reference and variables are aligned. That means we can calculate phase difference. I hope you liked the video. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much.